Good evening. Well, what can I say? I wasn't going to film tonight. I decided to because it's been a bit of a few weeks since my last update, um, and I've done quite a bit. Now, I will apologise in advance if you see me grab a rag and wipe my brow, because I'm sweating like a proverbial fat kid in a cake shop. No offence to fat kids in cake shops and all that, but it's bloody warm tonight. So, you saw just after the intro a bit of a flyover view of the frames, where we're up to with the frames. Front upper stretchers in, cross members in, rear stretchers in, drag boxes in, drag beams on. All temporary bolted to the frames for now because, as I say in previous videos, the frames are going to get split. I'm currently machining another sticker for the horn guides. The brake hangers are on order with Adam, so they should be through, and then there'll be a bit of a mass riveting session going on, getting everything on the frames before they get finally bolted together. But all the stretchers are done now, which you'll see in the video. It's sort of that flyover view. All the stretchers are done, so I haven't got to worry about any of that now. I can move on to the actual wheels, horn guides, springs, spring hangers. Now, you would have seen from my post only a few weeks ago, or a week ago, 10 days ago, something like that, I started doing the leaf springs, but I had them in that old buckle that my dad had done, which is here somewhere, in that buckle that went round them. Now what I did is I could have just got a bit of 5/8 per 16th, cut it to what I needed and then bent it round and everything like that. Now what happened was I thought, do you know what, I'm just going to have, because I didn't have enough 5/8 per 16th. So what I did is I sent off to Ed, had some 5/8 strips laser cut, and I know it's probably a long way around doing it, but I drew up on CAD first the kind of length that I needed, and then had him cut them. So I didn't really need to do a lot of measuring, cutting, and fart-arsing about because I'd already done it on CAD. And there's the first one. Now, I haven't profiled the underside of the spring yet, but I've got the shape, and you can see as well as a slight curve in the spring as well. Now, at the moment, that spring gives me about a 16th of deflection. Well, sorry, 13 leaves give me a 16th of deflection. There's 16 leaves in this. I copied full size. They have 16 leaves in them, so, you know, one for the other. I think that much deflection is going to be enough. It'll give me a riding weight. I've taken into account weight of water, weight of coal, and I'm hoping that 16th deflection, I think it was under 20 kilos of load on one spring, so that's 20, 40, 60, 80, you know what I mean, going round the wheel. So each axle is going to be 40 kilos. So all being well, that should be enough to take me on it, plus the coal, plus the water. As I said in a previous video, it's going to be a bit of a suck it and see type of thing to see if it's going to be enough. It should be, because like I said on the previous class 2 that me and my dad did, again I'm harping on about that one, we did exactly the same with that. It had a slight curve in it, and after 10 years of it being used, there wasn't really any difference in those springs, so something was right. So this is going to copy that. So yeah, that's all sorted now. As I say, I'm not going to do the other springs just yet. I did one just to see where it would be in relation to the rubbing pad that goes underneath it. that goes underneath it. So if I just get the spring again, there'll be a piece that comes through and it's going to sit up just above it like so. But I'm not sure what that distance is going to be yet, because I've still got to plumb that into CAD. I think they're on full size, they're very close. There's only a little bit, and then there's like a dome that sits in a bit of a cavity on the top. I'm not sure what that distance between those two is going to be just yet. Looking at, because again, that's your ride height for your buffer centres. I don't want to jack it up, make them too long, but I could make a few of different thicknesses, or even have some spaces that go in, because at the end of the day, the top of the spring, it's going to be drilled straight through there and out the bottom, and then there's going to be the bottom piece will thread or screw onto a pin that goes through, so these won't slide about, they won't move. And then I can probably change that center pin to different lengths with different threads on, and I can adjust the ride height for the buffer center height on there. You'll notice as well in the view of the front of the tender, I haven't put the bumpers in. They're dry. I painted them quite a while ago. They're all ready to go in. I haven't put them in because I've still got a bit of work to do in that front drag box, and these when these get slid in, it kind of finalizes the drag beam to the drag box. And I don't want to do that yet, because I don't need to do that, because I've got other work to get on with the rest of it. But talking of that upper stretcher, the last one that I soldered, I learned a bit of a thing with the rear one. Now the rear one, when I tried to solder it up, I tried to do it all in one go. And what ended up happening is, when I got to doing the main structure, the main bit through the middle of it, I was burning off the flux before I'd actually managed to get the solder in. So what I did with the front one, I did it in stages. So I soldered the two ends on and got the width right and everything, and got it nice and square. Pickled it, took it back out, cleaned it all, Dremel with a wire wheel on and everything like that. Cleaned it all. Then I did the main bit in the middle, because it's thinner steel than the two ends. Then I did that bit, pickled it again, cleaned it all. Then I put the pads on the top, got them soldered in, then flipped it over, cleaned it all again, wire wheel and emery and everything, and then put the two, they're not pads for the underside, they're just kind of braces that go underneath. Got those in, and everything soldered perfectly, and I was very, very happy with it. So I learnt from my mistakes on the rear one to get the front one as I wanted. So I'm very pleased with those now. It's quite a structure to move about already, and it's not got wheels or anything in it yet. Wheels I'm still machining. As I say, I've been working on the milling machine, doing that other stick of hull blocks. There's that. Once that one's done, then I can put the other one in and get that one done, and we're on and running, as they say. Still sorting out spring hangers, but as I say, I can't rivet them on until I've got the brake hangers to go behind it. But we're progressing quite quickly now. So as I say, I wasn't really going to film tonight, but I felt that I ought to show where we're up to. And as you can see in that overview of the frames, there's quite a bit gone on. There's a little bit I've done on that rear plate of the tender as well. I'm going to show you. I've got these two bits in here, one there, one there. Now I've seen another photograph, another archive photograph. The screws that have come through are a little bit long. I will trim them off a little bit, make them a little bit shorter on there, if you can see that. Screws are, let's not do the light that way. Screws are a little bit long. I saw another archive photograph of a BR3 tender, and those were on that as well. So the more archive pictures I see, the more it's confirming that all the all the BR3 tenders had those spacers on for the lamp brackets for the southern region. Obviously ours is a Midland stroke Eastern engine. It wouldn't have had the lamp bracket on, but those spacers are there if it disappeared off to the southern. So yeah, so that's where we're up to at the minute. No machining work or riveting or silver soldering or anything like that tonight, because it's too bloody warm. I've been doing a lot of sweating, just putting some bolts in this to bolt that, now the paint had dried on it, just to bolt that front stretcher in. So, but it's coming on leaps and bounds. You'll also notice as well that I've got a brake van to do for somebody. Now that will unfortunately slow down my progress on the class 2. Not a lot, but it will slow it down. So like last night, I spent a lot of time drawing on the computer. I haven't got a lot of information to go on, to be honest. I've got Peter Tatlow's book of LNER wagons, the brake vans, the Toad B and E, I think it is, or D and E or something like that. They're in that book, and it gives me overall length, height, stuff like that. So I've got to build that for somebody. Now, I know I said when I did the Ilsworth coal that I wasn't going to build wagons for people anymore. The only reason this one's come about is because I completely forgot. Before I made the decision, I completely forgot about him inquiring about it. So calculations were done, customers happy with the price and happy with the build time, and off we go. So you may see a bit of a video update on that one. I'm not 100% certain on what I'm going to do, really, whether I'm just going to build it and get it done, or whether I'm going to build a bit of it, show you a bit of it, and so on and so forth. So I do apologise if progress of the class 2 slows down. I'm hoping I can get to do a little bit of both in tandem with each other. One thing it has done is it's completely stopped me doing any wagon stuff for myself, because that brake van's a steel chassis, and I normally do my wagons in wood, so it's not like I can build a wooden chassis and a steel together. But I've got a lot of parts and that already in stock for it, so we can get cracking already. So anyway, enough of me waffling on. I haven't got else left to show you, unfortunately. As I say, short and sweet video, isn't it, tonight? As I say, I wasn't going to film anything, but I felt, as it's been a few weeks, I best just knock a quick video together, do you a quick overview of the frames, and show you what's what, where we're up to. Show you that spring that I've done, and we're getting there. I think the next job on that spring, I might tickle it up into a representation of everything with the pads on the back, and then make a couple little hooks. One thing I did find, I don't know how it came about, I found the bending jig that my dad made for the previous hooks. Now I don't know what made me keep hold of it, because a lot of stuff that was lying around when I was transferring workshops, a lot of things look like just bits of scrap. You know, it's like where he's practicing brazing or practicing silver soldering or practicing a bit of welding and whatnot. But I remember this jig from photographs, so when I saw it, I was like, oh, I know what that is. So that saved me a lot of effort trying to find a jig or make a jig to bend these hooks. Had some brilliant feedback as well on the last video. with that riveting tool. A few people have said they're going to make their own, which is fantastic because it helps me no end. So if you're at home and you've, wondering how you can hold things to rivet them, make one of them, not one up. It's absolutely brilliant bit of kit for me. And you'll see when I do the video with the riveting the frames, there is another tool though that we made for the spring hangers that again is a very simple thing, but it's equally very important, and that's to do with, if I've got one line about, yes, it's to do with these little holes in the back here, these two here. I couldn't, on the class 2 that me and my dad was doing, I couldn't get the rivet snap through that gap to the back or to that side because of this piece here. Yeah, so if you can just see those two dimples there, they're going to be drilled through. There'll be holes, and I couldn't get a snap in there to hold the head of the rivet, or I say we couldn't get a tool snap without, you could make it very slim, but it'd be that slim it would straight away start to deform when you give it any pressure with an hammer to knock a rivet in. So we've made, I didn't make it, Dad made it. I'm not going to steal his thunder. Dad made a tool that fits inside there and holds that. He got a bull nose end mill to make this impression, and you'll see it when I come to rivet those on, because I'm going to use it and I'll do a video on it. Very nifty bit of kit, but very simple. Another one of those simple things you think, wow, that's a very simple idea, but works a treat. So I'll sign off, go back to doing a bit of milling. I'm not going to film that because I think there's a lot of machinists that would moan at me for how I clamp things in my milling machine. But again, that's my problem, not theirs. So yeah, I'm going to sign off, and I'll see you on the next video with a bit more progress, hopefully. See you later.